Hey y'all! Welcome to Read the WoollyShire. We got Barracuda, Honky Tonky in no particular order over here. We got Barracuda front and center. You ready to play? We loved reading in the dark so much this last time. I thought we would try it again. Get in here. Get in this camera. There you go. There you go. Address the audience. There you go. Oh, don't be getting on my lap. Oh no. Oh, she's getting on my lap. This ain't fun. I'm not having a good time. I'm not having a good time. Oh, okay. You're now a bird that perches. No. Let's not start that new hobby. I don't need a goose sitting on my lap. Maybe I do want to read. We'll work on it. Okay, we'll work on it. Tonight we felt appropriate for Halloween that's coming up to read Poultrygeist by Mary Jane and Herm. Yeah. I don't have any chickens that want to be a part of this story reading at all. They're all in bed. As soon as it starts to turn dark, okay. As soon as it starts becoming dusk, chickens put themselves up. They go into the coop. Every once in a while, you got a few. Whoa, too close. We got a few naughty ones who want to stay out, but we haven't had that happen in a long time. All right, you ready? I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna read Poultrygeist. You ready? Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm reading it. Rudy, and his best friend Ralph were two rowdy young roosters. They weren't loud on purpose, but there was so much to crow about. Each tried to be the first and loudest to crow at sunrise every morning. Rudy and Ralph, which is pretty funny because I have a rooster named Ralph. Just one rooster, small little crow. Then they had contests all day long to decide who was the strongest or the biggest or the loudest. And finally, at sundown, they wrestled each other for the highest roost in the barn. Most of the other farm animals didn't mind the racket. They were rather noisy themselves and barely noticed Rudy and Ralph. Here's our other barnyard animals there. They didn't notice the two roosters battling it out on the fence posts. What you don't know about roosters, what they don't tell you is they don't just crow in the morning. They might crow at 3 a.m. or at noon, at 3. And they just crow all day long. The only ones who complained were Sophie the pig and Clarissa the cow. I need peace and quiet to make milk, Clarissa mooed. But Clarissa, Rudy said, you give milk every day, no matter how loud we are. She does. She gives milk every day. You're keeping me awake every night, Sophie grunted. And I need my beauty sleep. Can't argue with that one, Ralph whispered to Rudy. That's wrong. Look at there's the Clarissa the cow and Sophie the pig. It was 2 days before Halloween. Time to make costumes for the Halloween poultry parade. This caused even more than the usual commotion. I'm losing my patience with this uproar, Clarissa bellowed. Me too, snorted Sophie, and the two of them went off in a huff. What old grumps. You're kind of a grump. Ralph said, they can't remember what it's like to have fun. I bet they were never young at all. Rudy felt sorry about bothering Clarissa and Sophie. He tried to be quiet the whole next day. But when the animals gathered in the barn that night to finish their Halloween costumes, he got caught up in the excitement and added his voice to the squawking. Look at them all, getting ready for Halloween with their costumes. There we go. Ooh-wee. And suddenly, a huge figure rose up in the far corner of the barn, its head almost touching the highest roost. Rudy had never seen a creature so tall. The monster let out a moan as it lurched forward. Look at the monster in the back. Ooh, could you imagine that coming up in the corner of the barn? The sheep wouldn't be hanging out for that. You better get over here. Get on over here. This is not how this works. It's readings at WoollyShire, the animals, and you can't just be out of the scene. All right, I'll stop touching you. The animals tumbled out of the barn in a flurry of feathers. They ran until they reached the top of the hill. Clarissa and Sophie were the slowest runners and the last to arrive, both out of breath. What was that thing? Rudy asked. It was the ghost, the Poultrygeist, Clarissa gasped. The legend says the Poultrygeist has been sleeping for 100 years, whispered Sophie, and I'm afraid you woke it up with your noise. And nobody dared go back into the barn that night. I bet not. When the sun rose the next morning, Rudy and Ralph held each other's beaks closed to keep from crowing. It wasn't easy. Did you see that? Rudy asked when Ralph finally let go of his beak. The sun came up without us crowing into the sky. Don't tell anybody, Ralph said. We'll be out of a job. I'm holding each other's beaks. Sun coming up. Oh no, they'll be out of a job if people find out they don't need to crow for the sun to come up. Everybody stayed out of the barn all day. They even held the Halloween poultry parade outside, which was fun because the costumes looked scarier in the dark. But as the night went on, it got colder and colder. One by one, the shivering animals slipped back inside the poultry barn. You make me nervous. You make me nervous, Honky Tonky. You want to see some of their costumes? There we go. All right, I want to show the costumes. I want. Ralph and you just my face. Ralph and Rudy were the last ones outside. My drumsticks have turned to popsicles, Rudy said, his beak chattering. Let's go in. Inside the barn, the only sound was snow. Ow! 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 You bit me. You dirty dog, Honky Tonky. Inside the barn, the only sound was snoring. There was no sign of the Poultrygeist. Let's pick our roost. Only 2 left. And Ralph scanned the rafters looking for the Poultrygeist. You take the high roost. I'll use the low one next to the exit. I mean door. There they are looking for the roost in the barn. Don't be coming back over here to be salty. No, you should have the highest roost, Ralph. Okay, let's do that again. No, you should have the highest roost, Ralph. After all, you're taller than me. I am not, Ralph yelled. Look, you're slouching, Rudy shouted, and Ralph drooped his feathers. You should have the top roost because you're much handsomer than me. Oh, Lord. No, I'm ugly, Rudy crowed. Look, get up on that top roost, Ralph hollered. No, you get up there, Rudy screeched, and the 2 roosters rolled around the floor, feathers flying, and when suddenly a shadow fell over them, a very tall shadow. Boo! Howled the Poultrygeist, and there was a great flapping and a squawking as the animals fled to safety. But Ralph and Rudy were trapped in the corner. Yikes! This is it, buddy, Ralph cried. We're going to the big roost in the sky. Look at them, scared. They are scared. You guys are so scared. You fell out the camera. You fell out the camera. You come here. You better get over here. Get over here. No, everyone's, oh, come on over. I'll pet you, Honky Tonky. He's now the docile one. Don't give up. We can escape. Rudy grabbed his friend and tried to run around the Poultrygeist, but instead the 2 roosters smashed right into it. He didn't feel all clammy and ghost-like. Instead, it felt like feed sacks, Rudy cried. The Poultrygeist is nothing but a bunch of feed sacks all sewn together. Can't be, but Ralph gave a tug on the sacks, and there stood Sophie and Clarissa. Boo! Clarissa mooed. Her eyes closed. Oh, What just... Oh, Noodles just came out here and scared the geese in the dark. He sneezed. And they just fled. It's Noodles, the Poultrygeist. Oh, he's got the sneasel snarls. You all right, Noodles? Enough of the ghost talk, Sophie said. We've been unmasked. There they are. They've been unmasked by Rudy and Ralph. Awesome Halloween costume, Ralph said. You sure had us fooled. They weren't fooling, Rudy said. They wanted to scare us into being quiet. Bingo, Sophie said. What gave you the first clue? I don't get it, Ralph said. I was trying hard to be quiet. Well, not hard enough, said Clarissa. And later, when the two roosters were alone, Ralph said, I wasn't really afraid of the Poultrygeist, you know. Are you kidding? Rudy squawked. You were so scared you almost choked on your gizzard. I did not. Did too. Did not. Did too. Ahem, said Sophie. There's more than one way to quiet a pair of rowdy roosters. So she sat on the both of them. And the two rowdy roosters remembered that lesson for a long time. Sitting on those roosters. The end. Well, that was very, very clever. Hey, Noodles, come on over here. You better say goodnight to everybody. You better say goodnight. Well, we got... Oh, Barracuda's like, you better not pull me over here again. Don't be dirty. Oh, you doing a full turn for us? You doing a full turn? All right. Well, you guys got Noodles, the Poultrygeist. I know you guys couldn't see him, but he was right over here, and that made everybody run. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Happy Halloween, and bye, y'all.